Well, hello and welcome to Qlik Spotlight. My name's John Sands, and I had the very, very great pleasure of having with me today Sarah Manno. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now, Sarah, you're here because you're actually getting involved in the internship thing at the moment at Qlik,
Yes,
aren't you?
yes.
But tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you here.
So I am a third-year student at New York University.
Yeah.
I'm studying international relations.
Oh, really?
Yes, which is, I like to explain it as a mix of an economics major with a political science component
Yeah.
and a foreign language component. So yeah, I got involved with Julie just because she's working with clients like the UN.
Oh, I see. Your mum works here as well, doesn't she?
She
So that's
does.
another
Yep.
thing that would have got you here. And if you're
Exactly.
political science, the political landscape in the UK at the moment is.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah,
We could
yeah,
talk for hours.
we could do that for a long
There's
time.
a different
Just one
video.
interview on
Yeah.
Boris Johnson, that'll do it.
Oh,
That'll
yeah.
really annoy
Just
us.
got elected.
So what are you doing at Qlik then? What's your internship? What's your role?
So I'm working with Julie Whipple, who heads the corporate social responsibility department.
Yeah.
I'm her intern, but I'm also helping her build out visualizations for various clients.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's super cool.
So you're doing some Qlik Sense work as well
Oh,
then?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I've
That's
really
really good.
gotten familiar with ClickSense.
So have you had a chance to go up to the UN to meet them there, or did you have a trip up there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we went up in June. We got a whole tour and everything.
Really?
It was really
Yeah.
lovely. And yeah, we met with the UN. We got to sit down at a conference table like this and have real
Nice.
talks. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, yeah, and that's great to get that kind of. I mean, I've never been to the UN before myself, so to get that kind of
Yeah,
experience is fantastic.
it was definitely very special.
Yeah. So do you live locally in the area, or
I do. I
yeah?
grew up probably 20 minutes
Oh, did
outside
you?
of King of Prussia.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, not too far.
And one thing I've noticed about here is the weather. It just it's mad, absolutely mad. It just
Even for an
thunderstorms.
Englishman like you.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, at least when it rains for a long time here. You don't know what you're
True.
going to get. But it's,
Yeah.
so what? Apart from your mum working here, obviously,
Mhm.
people are going to assume that was why. But what else is there that made you want to work at Qlik in an
Well,
internship?
I think that I was really attracted to the idea of working with data
Mm.
and business intelligence and data analytics because I think that that's really the tide of the future
Yeah.
and it's just incredibly valuable as a skill to have entering really any kind of field these
Yeah,
days.
because I mean, that's the thing. We had a bring your children to work day here,
Yeah.
and there's data. So even though they don't even call it data, and the kids were looking at their fortnight data and the amount of
Right.
candy they ate and all that kind of stuff. But we
Yeah.
are surrounded by it, isn't it? I mean, I use it for my bank account information just to
Absolutely.
look at that.
Yeah.
And unless you can work with data, you're really not going to do a good job at all.
No,
In any,
absolutely.
it's not just here; it's in any scheme, isn't it? So, how did you find working on ClickSense then? How'd that go?
You know what? Surprisingly, very intuitive.
Yeah.
I was a little bit nervous going into it. I don't have a tech background at all, so it was a bit intimidating, but it's actually, ClickSense is
Mm.
extremely user-friendly. It's very much just a matter of playing around and
Yeah, I think that's a good point because it needs to be something, even if you're not tech, because people immediately start thinking, oh, I can't program, I can't do this. But to make it as easy as possible for anyone to go in and just put data in is where ClickSense really works, isn't
exactly.
it?
Yeah, it's the real beauty of it.
It's incredible. So you're doing lots of things. So you're working with Julie.
Hmm.
But what would you say is the thing that you're most enjoying doing? If someone said to you, okay, Sarah, we're going to get you to do this for the next couple of weeks, what would you pick to do?
That's a good question. I really, really nerd out on in ClickSense you can build these map visualizations
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
are super cool. You can basically enter a list of location data, so city, township, county, country. You can get specific coordinates
Mm.
even, and ClickSense will associate it and put it
Yeah, automatically. Yeah, yeah,
onto
it
a
just
map.
does it, doesn't it? Yeah.
And so being a political science major, keeping up with international politics, being like really into this idea of geopolitics, building these maps has been
Mm.
really, really cool for
So
me.
okay, that's a good question. So what would you want to visualize then? We talk about the political landscape and geopolitical, etc.
Mhm.
What's top of your mind as to what you would like to see globally with a visualization in ClickSense?
I've actually gotten really lucky in that I got to work with some of the UN's data right at the beginning of my internship.
Yeah.
They're they have a lot of data around, gender statistics, like
Oh, okay,
stuff
okay,
like,
yeah,
what percentage of a graduating class is made up of women,
yeah,
and data for every country worldwide,
mm,
and then, you put that on a map and you put it next to GDP growth for 15
yeah,
years, and you see a correlation. And I think that there's a real value in that, in proving with data, with solid numbers,
mm,
that certain political trends like empowering women in government, sponsoring various
yeah.
minority groups is actually fiscally beneficial to a country's economy.
Yeah, and we're going through the whole diversity and inclusion thing as well at the
Yeah,
moment, where
absolutely.
Kathy Kaplan and Deborah Snow are doing
Yep.
that, and that brings it out. And I actually was involved in a project with Qlik where we took, and this data that, the GDP data, the kind of
Mm-hmm.
work people are doing, what age they're doing it, what they're
Right.
buying, all that kind
Yep.
of stuff, it is accessible out there, isn't it? So you
Oh,
can easily
absolutely. Yeah.
put it in there. It's a
It's.
fascinating subject, and
I agree.
you can go in for something that you say you're looking for. How many females over the age of 16 are in population in this, but you
Exactly.
can end up coming out with another answer to something else you didn't even think about, can't you? It's,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
incredible, incredible.
Yeah.
So when you finish your internship, then what are you looking to do with your life?
Oh,
Big question,
it's a hard one.
eh?
Um, I'm pretty open-minded. I do have this background in political science and
Mm,
this deep interest in geopolitics. I could see myself doing anything from diplomacy to political consulting
yeah.
to maybe something data-driven,
Well, there's a space going for the British ambassador for the US. So
Is
yeah,
there?
yeah. Apparently he's gone. If you've not heard
Hmm.
about that, but
Should
maybe,
look into
maybe
it.
yeah, you give that a go. Yeah, and that's so. If you okay, let's ramp the question up a little bit. What would be your dream job then?
Hmm. I think that maybe some kind of diplomatic position
Yeah. Oh,
would
okay.
be dream job. I speak pretty good French,
Yeah. Oh, ideal,
so
ideal.
there's a lot of francophone nations out there.
Mm.
Maybe some kind of ambassador or some kind of, yeah,
That would be an amazing
yeah,
role. That really
something,
was.
yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
envy you actually because you've got that whole lot out there now that you can go and do. But internships, I mean, when we look at what they're doing, everyone can say, "Oh, I need to do an internship," blah blah blah. But they can really prime you and get you ready for what's out
Absolutely,
there. It's
yes.
a cliche, but you don't really know, do you, until you get out there and
No,
experience work, real hand. Apart
yeah,
from going to university. So.
absolutely. This internship has definitely changed the way I think about political science and geopolitics as a field.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that data is an indispensable part of that. I
Yeah.
mean, just to predict trends and
Mm.
like, it's super important these
Yeah,
days.
well,
Yeah.
you can't do it. I don't think you can do it. I mean, because we did a UN thing recently, didn't
Mhm.
we? At Hackathon, you must have heard about it, where we
Yeah,
were
I
looking at
worked a
their
little bit on
flight
it.
data,
Yeah. Uh-huh. I've seen,
and how
yeah.
many, and they found out that actually they're doing far too many little flights between
Absolutely,
places.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yep.
that's amazing. Even the UN can learn. Anyone can learn from that.
Yeah.
So that's all the internship stuff. We're gonna find out a little bit more about Sarah and what Sarah
Okay.
does early in your years. How do you relax when you get home, weekends? What do you do to relax?
Um, I'm a big nature gal. I love a good hike.
Mm.
I have a Doberman puppy at
Oh, do
home,
you?
so
Oh,
we go and
fantastic.
hike and swim in the creek. But
Mm.
I also enjoy. My mother's family is Korean. I'm teaching myself Korean at the moment,
That
which
must be a difficult language to learn, though, isn't it?
you
Is
know,
it?
it's surprisingly, it's not like Chinese or Japanese where it's characters.
Yeah.
It's actually a phonetic alphabet.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I find it actually rather relaxing to
Mm.
just, like pop in some earbuds and listen to like a podcast and practice. And
Yeah, I
so
think I
yeah,
think having a language. You said you spoke a bit of French as well. I think having
yeah,
a language is,
it's
is
super
very
helpful.
very important. I
Yeah,
don't have one apart from English, which is
yeah,
about a smattering of French. So that's
yeah.
about it.
It's sort of addictive actually. I think learning languages
Yeah.
because you realize how many doors open themselves.
But for true, and this is something I've learned, for true learning of a language, you have to immerse yourself in that culture, don't you?
I
Because you
would have to
can
agree.
learn schoolboy French, you can learn Korean, but it's
Yep.
still and I presume you've got family in Korea,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So until you actually speak to someone and live a life and walk around and order things and buy things and stuff like that, that's your true
I
learning,
would
isn't
have
it?
to agree with you for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. You'd have to go and live in France for a long time. That's what you need to
Yeah.
do. So do you cook then?
You know what? I have to be honest, like, no.
No?
I'm a dorm room ramen kind of gal.
Yeah,
Really.
my daughter does that. Ramen is just the
It's too
easiest thing,
easy.
isn't it?
It's too
And so
easy.
nice.
And I grew up on it. It's almost like comforting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So ramen then. So if we ever want you to make something, it's going to have to be ramen.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. Last film you watched?
Ooh. Well, the last thing I watched was the third season of Stranger Things. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yes. No, I do know about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Is that
super
the Harry
good.
Potter
It's like
spin-off?
no, it's like 80s sort of campy like throwback to
Oh, completely out there. Completely
Alien
wrong on
kind
that.
of show.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know that
No,
one.
but yeah, I've been watching Stranger Things. Really
Have you?
good.
Oh, no, is that a film or is that a TV
It's
series?
TV.
Series? Yes, I have heard of it.
It's a
So I
TV
have heard of
series.
it.
It's Netflix.
Okay, I'm going to give you an hour to spend with
Okay.
anyone. Now, they don't have to be alive. They can be dead. You've got an hour. Pick someone who you think, right, who would I really like to spend that time with?
Ooh, there are so many people.
Difficult, isn't it?
I guess I mean I have literary heroes, like Dostoevsky and Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I think that would be like the really intellectual answer.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I am a big George Harrison fan. He's my
Ah,
spirit
really?
beetle.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
fantastic.
really feel like he's the mysterious one. So
And he's still alive, so that'd be easy, wouldn't it?
George Harrison?
Yeah, yeah.
No, he's not
Did
alive.
he pass away? Oh, we'll cut that bit
Cut
out. That just
that.
shows my knowledge of the Beatles. I thought George Harrison was still around. Sorry, George. Okay, so George Harrison. That's a good answer, actually. I
Mhm.
like that. And when does your internship finish? When are you finished up
You
here?
know what? My last day is Friday.
That's Friday.
Mhm.
What are you going to do then? What's the rest of your year look like? What are you planning on doing?
Well, I'm moving back to Paris this year
Oh,
for
nice.
the year. Super excited.
Yeah, I
I
bet you
love
are.
Paris.
You don't want to be there now, though. You know it's about 42 degrees out there in
Oh
the
yeah, I
hundreds.
know.
Yeah, the
It's
hottest
super,
it's
super
ever
hot.
been. Yeah.
But before that, I will be spending 3 weeks in Sweden.
Oh, nice.
There's a farm there. They make goat cheese and they
Yeah.
grow berries. And so I got in touch with this woman who runs this farm, and she's gonna let me stay, and she's gonna feed me in exchange for labor.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
So all the goat's cheese and cheap
berries. They
berries
need
and
someone to paint the barn.
oh, I'm very very jealous. Sweden is a lovely place, and of course
Is it?
what I would call the spiritual heart of Qlik as well.
Oh,
So if you get
absolutely.
a chance, go. What part of Sweden are you going to go to?
It's just north of Stockholm, so
Okay. So you're
yeah,
going more that way. So it'd be a bit difficult to get
yeah,
down to Lund, wouldn't it? It's
yeah,
quite a trip. Well, Sarah, it's been a pleasure.
yeah.
Thank you
Thanks for
so much
having
for
me.
spending the time,
Yeah,
and good luck. And I hope to
thank
see you
you.
in some kind of diplomatic position, some far-flung place that speaks French
Thank you.
very soon.
Thank you. Good talking
Take
to you.
care, and you too. Take
Thanks.
care. Bye.
Great.